Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. Our next guest has a very simple question. When you delete your adjectives, who are you?
And joining us now in studio is an American soldier, engineer officer, and one of the first 3 women to graduate from the United States Army Ranger School.
Yeah, she's also the author of the new book, Delete the Adjective, A Soldier's Adventures in Ranger School. Lisa Jester joining us this morning. Great to have you in. Nice to meet you. The book is fascinating. You share your journey of becoming one of the first women to graduate from Ranger School. Take us through that experience.
You know, the interesting thing for me is that I have nothing to compare it to. So when people say, what was it like to be a woman there? They treated me like I was just another soldier, hence the title of the book, Deleting the Adjective. And I don't think I had a female's experience. And that's one of the reasons I wrote the book, is a lot of people will ask about being a female there and how things were different. And I think if any male who attended Army Ranger School reads the book, it'll be their story too. Now there are a few interesting situations, being one female.
Stories.
Yeah, because
Right.
we have the book here, Delete the Adjective. Can you share one of those maybe interesting stories?
Well, so while we were in the field, it got really, really cold. And when you're in the field and it's cold, you usually snuggle up together. And it's not snuggling, it's just staying warm for
warmth,
survival, because you're
Yeah.
laying on the ground, you're occupying a perimeter. And me being the only female at one point in time, nobody was willing to snuggle up with me because they didn't want to go home and say they snuggled with a woman at Ranger School. So kind of that was one of the few stories where being a woman might have been a negative.
What advice do you have for women who want to accomplish their goals?
Dream big and go all in. I think the biggest thing is we stop ourselves. We put ourselves in these buckets and we let our adjectives define us instead of letting them just describe us. So be all in if you want it. I shaved my head. I packed 2 duffel bags. I left my family for 6 months. If you really want it, you got to chase it.
What made you decide to do this, to go into Ranger School? Why did you want to do this?
I got talked into it by my husband and my sergeant major, who's my senior enlisted advisor. But basically they said, you know, at 37, the average student is 23 years old. At 37, I had a wealth of experiences to lean back on, and maybe somebody younger wouldn't have all of that, all those tools to be able to push through hard times.
Delete the adjective. What does that mean? Because I think we could all do that, and I'm thinking of my own adjectives right now. Not pronouns, by the way.
Yes.
We're not talking
Yes,
about
very
pronouns,
different.
which I don't have. But what does this mean?
It is about merit. Our military, our goal in our military is to close with and defeat our enemies. So male, female, black, white, short, tall, it doesn't matter what your adjectives are. We have one mission. So I think it's critical, especially when talking about military forces, to focus on what you can do, what that merit says. So let's ignore the adjectives. I don't want to be a female Ranger School graduate. I don't want to be a female soldier. I don't want to be strong for middle-aged. I really want to be just good. And I want to be known for being good.
And how about just being a soldier? I actually saw somebody on LinkedIn, and she's a speaker, and she said, I'm getting rid of a female speaker. How about I'm just a speaker? I'm a person. And the military, obviously, it's changed over the last few years. Do you think that women are more accepted being in the military now and are treated equally?
I think there are times when we're not, but I also think that there's a misconception of when the adjectives are important. So we talk about diversity, and sometimes we talk about diversity for diversity's sake. But whether it's me or someone who looks like me or somebody who looks different, if we don't think differently, we're not adding value. So that female speaker you're talking about, she needs to bring a message that's different than other speakers. Is it different because she's female? Maybe, but it's probably different because of cognitive diversity or experiential diversity.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Lisa, thanks so much for being with us this morning. The book is Delete the Adjective,
Yes,
A
I can't wait.
Soldier's
This
Adventure
book I
in
can't wait
Ranger
to
School.
read.
This is Lisa Jester.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being with us. A lot more